Boulder has a new sheriff in town, this time featuring the return of
Prime time for Dion Smile. His prime time is back.
Not to compete, but to win. Not to show up, but to show out. Not to be among the rest, but to be the absolute best. We're coming to work. We're not coming to play. We're coming to kill, not to kick it. Do you understand it? Do you feel that? Do you understand the intensity, the excitement, the adrenaline, the rush that I got right now that I can't wait till this thing kicks off because we are coming. Boulder, Colorado, you have no idea what you blessed me with, the opportunity that you've given me, and I feel like I owe you.
Touchdown! Caught by Westbrook for a touchdown! Incredible! There is no time remaining.
Running the option on first down. Hagan has it. He has Rowe. He's got one man to beat. Now he pitches to Flanagan, and he may take it all the way. Flanagan's in for the touchdown.
Looking right, scans, throws it right corner of the end zone. Montana's out there. He got a shove, and he goes out of bounds.
Touchdown. He just signaled touchdown.
There you go.
Holy cow! What a play! Touchdown! Touchdown, Colorado!
This is Colorado Football on the Prime and Gold Podcast, your place for up-to-date info on all things CU football. We're about to let the world know something that's no longer a secret. Coach Prime, what are we doing?
Baby, we're coming.
Here's CWS.
Welcome to Prime and Gold, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Chandler Sports. It's week 5 in the college football season. This week, USC Trojans travel to Boulder to take on the Colorado Buffaloes. The 8th-ranked Trojans trying to improve to 5-0, while Colorado looking to bounce back from a 42-6 loss to Oregon last week. USC started with the ball in this game. They scored a touchdown in 6 plays, 75 yards in 2 minutes and 27 seconds. This is a game between Caleb Williams and Shedeur Sanders. But then again, football's made up of 11 players on the field for each team. There's still 10 other guys at any given point in time for each side. But we'll get into that as the game continues. Shedeur and Caleb Williams went head-to-head, toe-to-toe, whatever you want to say about it. This was a Heisman-defining game for both quarterbacks. So USC starts early. They lead 7-0. CU and USC trade punts. CU goes down in 16 plays and 67 yards. They take 6 minutes off the clock here in the first quarter. And then Jace Feely comes out and misses a field goal from 41 yards. So CU had a chance to get on the board. USC gets the ball, turnover on downs. They go down in 3 plays, 77 yards in 48 seconds, highlighted by a 71-yard touchdown from Taj Washington, a pass coming from Caleb Williams to make it 14-0. CU then got an interception. Well, they had an interception, I should say. Shedeur threw an interception, just missed one of his routes. His receiver just didn't run the way he thought he was going to go. USC defender picked it off, and then USC then took the ball down in 4 plays, 22 yards, and a minute 19 to lead 21-0 after that touchdown, which that was a Dorian Singer 8-yard touchdown from Caleb Williams. The Trojans were off and running. We're talking end of the first quarter. They scored the first play of the second quarter, and you're thinking, that's CU. They're going to come back, right? They came back against CSU, or maybe they're going to lose against they're going to lose like they did against Oregon. Nobody knows. Nobody knew for sure at that point. Well, CU responded in 7 plays, 75 yards in a minute 56 to lead 21-7, to trail 21-7. Shedeur Sanders hit Jimmy Horn, Honk the Horn Jr. for 30 yards for a touchdown, and maybe, just maybe, CU could get back into this. USC had a punt, then CU had a punt, then the SC went down and scored a touchdown, but they missed the PAT, a 24-yard pass to Mario Williams, the Williams connection, Caleb Williams to Mario Williams, makes it 27-7 for the Trojans. CU then punts. In 7 plays, 73 yards, the Trojans go down, score a touchdown. That took 2 minutes and 28 seconds. Yeah, we're moving fast here. Sorry, we're already in the second quarter. This game was just high-paced, very high-octane offenses going head-to-head. Caleb Williams hits Brennan Rice for 26 yards for a touchdown, and the Trojans lead 34-7 late in the second quarter. CU gets the ball coming out of half, keep this in mind. They won the opening coin toss, as they've done all 3 times at home this season, and they deferred. They get the ball to start the second half, as they've done in all 5 games this season now. So CU needs to get some momentum. They go down, score, 9 plays, 83 yards, also 2 minutes and 28 seconds. Shedeur Sanders runs for 25 yards down the middle of the field. He had an open gap, and none of the Trojan players decided to lay a late hit on him. They had a chance to, and they didn't, so kudos to the Trojans for not doing that. Colorado scores, makes it 34-14 SC at the end of the half. Now, something we've been neglecting to bring up a lot the last few weeks, analytics. They really played into the second half. The only reason we haven't brought it up is because we haven't had an opportunity to really dive into it. Now there's an opportunity to. So just bear with me. As I mentioned, CU gets the second half kickoff. They punt. USC punts. CU punts. In that sequence, nobody scored. And the offense has gained a combined -5 yards. Get that? Seriously? Yes, seriously. USC then goes down on their second possession of the quarter, or the second half, I should say. They score a touchdown to make it 41-14. Now, in that possession, Colorado used their first timeout for a defensive substitution. They couldn't get the right personnel on the field. And they've been down some injuries. Shiloh Sanders was out. Miles Slusher has been out. Travis Hunter, of course, is out. He'll be out for a few more weeks. There are some key players missing, but the next player needs to step up, as Coach Prime has said multiple times over the last few weeks. So keep in mind, it's 41-14 USC over Colorado. Colorado's down to 2 timeouts. Why is this important? We'll get to this in just a second. CU goes down, scores a touchdown on their next possession. About 6 minutes to go in the third quarter. 5 plays, 75 yards, minute 24 seconds. Anthony Hankerson with his first rushing touchdown of the season. It's now 41-21 after the made extra point. USC then goes down and scores a touchdown. 9 plays, 75 yards, 3 minutes and 36 seconds, the time of possession. Caleb Williams to Jude Wolfe for 3 yards for a touchdown for USC, makes it 48-21. USC leads by 27 over Colorado. Now for the 4th possession in a row between these two teams, somebody scores. CU scores a touchdown, 5 plays, 75 yards, a minute and 11 seconds. Highlighted by a 21-yard pass to Mikey Harrison, the tight end, a receiver turned tight end, from Shedeur Sanders. Colorado now trails 48-27. They go for 2. Now, some people have been asking from an analytical standpoint, why do you go for 2 in this situation? If you convert, you make it 48-29. You're down by 19. At this point in the game, there's about a minute to go in the third quarter. You don't have a lot of time. You maybe get 2, maybe 3 possessions. If you score a touchdown, you go for 2, you convert that. You score a touchdown the next possession after getting a stop, you go for 2, you get that. You're only down a field goal. You can then either kick the onside kick if there's about 3 minutes, or if there's about a minute and a half to go, or if there's a little bit more time on the clock, say 3 minutes, you could boot it deep, get a 3 and out, make it a short field, and it's a shorter distance to go kick the field goal to tie the game to send it to overtime. If you miss one of those 2-point conversions on those first 2 touchdowns, it is still a 1-possession game. You could still go down and score a touchdown, the field will be a little bit longer on this hypothetical, and tie the game. Now, some people have been asking, if CU tied the game and whatever, would you go for 2 at the end of the game if you're down by 1 instead of kicking the extra point? No, you never go for 2 at the end of a game, ever. Just analytically speaking, you just never do it. Kick the extra point, go to overtime, take your chances, and go on defense, which Colorado likes to break trends, and they went on offense against CSU, but hey, it worked. No complaints here. So, pick this game back up. It's 48-27. They missed a 2-point conversion. It was a pass in the back of the end zone. It did not get completed. The receiver dropped the ball. The receiver caught the ball. He had 1 foot in bounds. So we thought in real time. In reality, he actually had both feet out of bounds, couldn't control possession before getting 1 or both feet down. In college, you only need 1 foot down. So USC leads 48-27. They throw an interception. Caleb Williams throws his first interception of the year. Think about that for a second. Yeah, interception. CU's got the ball. They go down, score a touchdown. With about 11 minutes and 55 seconds to go, Amarian Miller gets hit for 9 yards for a touchdown from Shedeur Sanders. After an 11-play, 61-yard drive, they went 3 minutes and 58 seconds. Who's Amarian Miller? He's the backup freshman. Well, I think he'll be starting a little bit more often this year. He's a really talented player. He's a receiver for the CU Buffs. He's kind of been hiding behind Travis Hunter and the rest of the crew because Travis Hunter's injured and there's a couple other injuries. He's filling in. And he filled in nice. He had 196 yards receiving in this game, most by a Colorado Buffalo since Katie Nixon did it versus Oregon State in 2018 when he had 198 yards. It's the 3rd most receiving yards by Pac-12 freshman receiver since 2008. As voice of the Buffs, Mark Johnson said during the broadcast, A star has been born on a Saturday in Boulder. Oh yes, a star was definitely born. They need to figure out how to utilize him more, and they did in the second half. Man, this kid's got talent. 48-34, CU. They need a punt. They need a stop. And they forced USC into a punt. 4 and out, technically. It went 18 yards, minute 26 seconds. CU's going to get the ball down by 14 with 10.5 to play from their own 20. And they had a chance to make this a one-possession game. And they got 4th and 5 after 6 plays, 24 yards. They got 4th and 5 at the USC 47. And the offensive line just couldn't hold the USC defense. Shedeur Sanders gets sacked, lost in 9 yards. USC's going to get the ball back. They go down, drive in 3 minutes. They got 6 plays, 22 yards. They miss a field goal. It's the first missed field goal of the season by Dennis Lynch, 38-yarder wide right. Voice of the Buffs, Mark Johnson, also mentioned during the broadcast that he'd been perfect throughout the season, right before the missed kick. So maybe MJ was helping out with that announcer's curse. I don't know. We'll give him credit for that, though. CU goes down. They score a touchdown. 10 plays, 78 yards, 4 minutes, 15 seconds to make it 48-41. The offense moved a little bit too slow, and they were getting booed by the Folsom crowd because of that. And they were forced to onside kick. But they have one timeout. They don't need to onside kick under 2 minutes. Not so fast, my friend. They used a timeout when the SC missed their field goal to reset their defensive personnel. It was their third and final timeout because they used one earlier, and then they had a second one that was used a couple drives before that. USC knew what they were getting themselves into. They were up 2 scores. They didn't need to rush anything. They didn't, they didn't need to panic, I guess you could say, for lack of a better term. It's been a long day here in Boulder. It's been a fun day. 48-41 after CU scores late in the game. There's a minute 40 to go. No timeouts. You can't stop the clock. You got an onside kick. And Jace Feely puts it up in the air like a pop fly for a center fielder. One of the USC hands team returners caught it, kneeled it down, and then Caleb Williams came out for victory formation, and the USC Trojans improved to 5-0 on the season after a 48-41 win over the now 3-2 Colorado Buffaloes. Colorado will travel to Tempe, Arizona to take on the Arizona State Sun Devils this week, 4:30 p.m. Mountain Time on the Pac-12 Network. Man, what a day up here in Boulder. The next home game is Friday, October 13th against Stanford, 8 p.m. Mountain Time on ESPN. Yes, Friday the 13th, there will be some spooky things that happen, I guess you could say, for CU football. At the end of the day, they're 3-2 in the prime era, which is a lot better than what most people expected at this point in the year. CU's got a long road ahead, but at the end of the day, the program's on an upward trajectory. And the second half was probably the best offense, honestly, the best offensive half for CU, and potentially even their defense, that they've had all season. One other thing to note before we go, they had over 190 rushing yards, which was triple what they had on average for the first 4 games. It came out of nowhere. Final stat line, sorry. We tend to forget these things. For USC, Caleb Williams finished 30 of 40, 403 yards. He had 6 touchdowns through the air and 1 interception. Marshawn Lloyd, who reminds a lot of us of Marshawn Lynch, had 84 yards on the ground on 13 carries and a touchdown. Caleb Williams' 6 touchdowns, by the way, are not the most by a USC quarterback. That record is held by Cody Kessler, who had 7 touchdowns against Colorado in 2014. Matt Barkley also had 6 touchdowns against Colorado in 2011. For Colorado, Shedeur Sanders finishes 30 for 45, 371 yards, 4 touchdowns, and an interception. He also had a rushing touchdown. So did Anthony Hankerson. 193 yards on the ground for the Buffaloes, nearly double that through the air, 371 for Colorado. 3 receivers, Amarian Miller and Jimmy Horn Jr. and Mikey Harrison, each had at least 6 receptions for 40 yards. All 3 of those players combined for Shedeur's 4 touchdowns through the air. Great stuff. This is a fantastic game. Okay, I'm done babbling. Now we're done. Thanks for tuning in this week to Prime and Gold. This was Prime and Gold for Week 5, USC versus Colorado. Coming up next week, Arizona State versus Colorado.
This podcast is copyrighted by the Sport Report for viewers to understand sports from a neutral perspective and news reporting basis. Any other use of this podcast, the Sport Report logos, or anything associated with the company without the express written consent of Chandler with Sports is strictly prohibited.